If we've learned anything from leadership theory over the last 150 years, from the 1870s when it was about looking for great men to copy, or into the 1920s, 30s and 40s when it became about traits or characteristics, into more modern thinking about the context or the situation actually is more important than the personal styles of the leaders that are involved, we can actually find that leadership theory is fairly inconsistent. And this is the paradox of leadership theory, of course, and one fit doesn't fit all. So actually when you look at the challenges for modern leaders, they have a very difficult environment to lead within. So environmental issues, geopolitics, geo-financial systems, UK financial systems, coupled with a workforce that spans many generations, Generation X, Y, Z, all in the same workplace, as well as Gen Alphas coming soon. So the complexities for leaders is very difficult. But what good leadership sometimes reflects is a need to be an understanding of the situation, the scale, the scope, the complexity of the problems at hand, but also the way that they should approach it, that their style that worked for them yesterday may not be the one that they would employ tomorrow. So to be flexible, but also to take their people with them, to understand the motivations of the people within which they're going to work. So there's a very clear difference between leadership and management. Management is about control, leadership is about influence. So the second Minister of the Treasury, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, should be a great manager, managing the UK's finances. But the first Minister of the Treasury, or the Prime Minister, needs to be a great leader, because it's about influencing lots of people that you will never meet to vote for you, to have the confidence that you can lead their country. So management, control, leadership, influence. The key drivers for change in the construction industry are significant. One of those is going from on-site construction to off-site. Now, public and private sector contracts are looking for additional benefits, for opportunities. Now, for on-site to off-site, you're looking for efficiency and predictability, so better scales of economy. You're also looking for safety, because if you're constructing everything off-site, you're going to be doing it in the same way at the same place, so safety is likely to improve. Sustainability, less travel around the country, therefore less fuel, less impact, carbon impacts. Less training, once the staff are trained, if they are just doing the same thing over and over again. But also less turmoil for the people around construction sites. But also, there is research to suggest that actually you need less staff, because less staff turnover. It's good for the environment, the communities, and actually for social value across the UK. The key drivers for change are undoubtedly customers' requirements. You need better scales of economy, profit, and maximise this opportunity. But also you need to maintain your market position as a supplier. But also you need to be cognizant and reactive to environmental challenges, to generate social value, and above all, maintain your competitive advantage. One of the key barriers to change in off-site construction is a lack of understanding of the scale, scope, and complexity of the challenge. And that lack of understanding may result in inaction or wrong action. Let's take an example. 1976, Kodak. They had 90% of the US film market and 85% of the camera market. In 1996, they had $16 billion worth of revenue and $2.5 billion of profit. They invented digital technology but did nothing really with it. The things they did were ineffective. Everyone else got on it. Digital technology, digital transformation, smart telephones. By 2011, their profits and their market share had eroded. 2012, liquidated, went into bankruptcy. Lack of understanding of the scale, scope and complexity of the challenge, and then inaction or wrong action. So, when we're talking about barriers to change, a lack of understanding of the scale, scope and complexity of the challenge that result in inaction or wrong action. Good leadership impacting on culture is very simple. Personal impact drives good behaviours, behaviours drive good culture. So, culture is behaviours repeated again and again and again which then becomes the way that we do things around here, which therefore is our culture, our paradigm, our way of working. So personal impact can change this for the positive. Take the example of Sergio Marchionne. He took over Fiat as the CEO and then did a joint partnership, a strategic alliance with Chrysler. Chrysler had just fallen out of a disastrous partnership with Daimler. Through his personal impact, he fostered talent. He took the people with him. He tackled difficult situations, but he did it in a way that didn't push people away from him. So that unlocking talent, finding talent, he realised that he didn't have to come up with the right answer himself. He just had to recognise it when he saw it and then do something with it. So when we're talking about good leadership affecting the culture, we're talking about personal behaviours driving consistent behaviours, which drives culture.